Today we're going to be working on cutting our whole chicken into pieces and then pan frying it. We're going to start out with, well, first let me tell you what we need to set up. We need a paring knife. We need some meat shears. I have a cutting board here. I've placed it in a pan just in case there are juices that come out of the chicken, because as we know, raw chicken can have E. coli and salmonella, so we need to be careful about making sure that we clean up afterwards. I've got a bowl here to put my cut chicken pieces in, and I've got a pot here, and I'll explain what that's for later. Okay, so if we come over to the sink, you see here, I have a whole chicken, Tyson, that's in plastic. Why do I have it in grocery bags? Well, because you'll see, once you cut into the plastic to get your chicken out, there's going to be juices. You can already see them. And I want to make sure that those juices don't go everywhere. Now, I could just do it in the sink and then sanitize the sink afterwards, and I will still sanitize the sink just to be sure. But I find that using the grocery bags contains the juices a little better, and it makes for an easier cleanup. Now, I've got multiple because you never know with these kitchen grocery bags if the bag has a hole in it or not, so I always use 2 or 3 just to make sure. Okay, now I'm pulling my chicken out to try to leave those juices behind. And I'm not being too gentle because I'm going to be breaking these joints anyway. So I'm pulling them out by the legs here. Okay, now I'm also going to use a paper towel underneath my chicken just to make sure that I don't drip a bunch of juices along the way. Okay, now stick that dirty paper towel in the bag and we'll handle those later. Alright, now flipping my chicken so that the legs are toward me. Okay, and actually I'm going to turn them over first this way. Okay, so this is his back and the breasts are down. First thing I'm going to do is take the wings off. Alright, so these are the wings up here. I'm going to spread the wing out and kind of with your hand feel the joint. I'm going to use a boning knife. So we're just cutting into where it feels like the joint is. Now, I'll be cutting through here. And you're going to cut a little bit. I'm going to flip it over, make it easier to see. Cutting a little bit of the breast here, because as we know, the wing itself doesn't have a lot of meat on it. So you're going to be making sort of a mini drumstick by cutting a piece of the breast with it. Okay, you can see that we've reached the joint. You can kind of hear it. The boning knife there. And we're almost through. It's very important that you sharpen your knives before cutting on your chicken, because as you can see, there are pieces of the bone there. Alright, almost. And be careful, you don't want to cut yourself in an effort to get through the bone. There we go. I heard it pop. Almost on this side. There we go. Now, that's going to be a nice wing right there. Alright, so that's one. Now, and you see how many juices came out from the chicken. That's why I use a pan underneath to kind of make sure I can contain those. Now we're going to use the same process on the other side. Let's see if I can move my hand so you can see better. Alright, I'm going to sort of flip it around, and again we're going to take some of the breast meat to to make for a better wing. Okay, right there. Almost. Let's flip him over. Okay. So we can get a nice clean cut. Almost. All right. Very, very close. Heard it. And again, got a nice clean wing there. Okay, put that in our dish. Okay, next up are the legs. Okay, I'm going to spread the legs out here. I should say legs and thighs. Sometimes these are referred to as quarters. So you can kind of feel the joint right through here. So my fingers are going like that. There's the edge of the thigh. You want to sort of cut down. It's sort of a diagonal stroke here. And again, watch your fingers. Okay. Now we are going to flip it over to finish it. So this is really just to kind of get through the front. And make sure it's cut through the skin. In the front. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to flip it over. Let's save some of this skin for the breast, so we don't want to use it all. So just quickly cut through here. Now we want to grab hold of our quarter, and you hear a snap. That is the chicken thigh releasing out of the joint. All right, and got that little piece there. So now you have a very nice quarter. We'll set that to a side because we're going to divide that between the leg and the thigh in just a minute. But before we do that, we're going to flip it back over and we're going to do the other side. Okay, again, we're feeling where the thigh joins the back. So sort of the chicken's hip joint, if you will. You want to cut through the skin because we do want to keep some of that skin. That's what makes the pan-fried chicken crispy. All right. So we're just starting here. We're going to finish on the other side. All right, cut through. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to flip him over. And again, I want to preserve some of this skin, so I'm going to pull it back this way. And you can kind of see that it's a little opaque right there. You can kind of see through it as we're stretching it. Okay. There's a little blob of fat there that we don't want. So we'll cut so that we don't get that. Alright, now that we have the joint exposed, we're going to grab it, and you hear it click. That is the joint coming out of the pocket. nice thigh meat there. We're exposing. Get what we can there. All right. All right, here we go. Okay. All right. So there we have a nice thigh and a leg. Okay. So before we deal with the breast, let's separate the legs from the thigh. Okay. So you can kind of see there's a joint right about here. You can sort of feel it where that part of the leg is joining the thigh. And think about how drumsticks look when you're doing this. Again, you kind of want to preserve some skin on both pieces so that you get that crispiness. And you can cut right through. Sometimes the skin can be difficult. There we go. All right, now, oops. We have a nice chicken leg. And we'll spread that across. We have a nice thigh right there. Put it in our bowl. Okay, now we're going to do the other one. Same process. Feel for the joint. Pull the skin. Use your boning knife. Cut through. And feel a little bit of a break there. Nice chicken leg and pretty good looking thigh. All right, so what do we have left? We have the much loved chicken breast. All right, so you're going to feel the breastbone right in the center. I'm trying to cut this skin apart here. Sort of just saw down the breastbone in the center. Okay, so you're going through to the side of the breastbone on the left. Up to the bone, and it sort of peels away. You can see that. Sort of just carving the meat off as you go down. Okay. A little bit of skin there. This is the much coveted breast meat that can be used for all kinds of recipes, so you want to get as much as you can off. It sort of comes off right on a fault line, if you will. And again, we're going to cut through that skin. Goodness. Little piece of skin there. It belongs down here. Alright, so there we have a very nice breast. And now we're going to do the other side. Okay. all these knives and everything that you've used, you need to make sure that you wash thoroughly with hot soapy water and that you sanitize them afterwards, because they have all been exposed to the raw chicken and the juices from the raw chicken, which can, as I mentioned, contain salmonella poisoning as well as E. coli bacteria. Okay, and that breast is coming off pretty nicely. Let's just get that last bit here. Cut. Alright. Oops, still attached. It's just the skin. Alright, so you can see we have another nice breast. Now these breasts are pretty thick, so for pan frying you would probably want to butterfly them, which we went through in our last lesson. So you can see we have sort of a carcass left. There is still meat on this carcass, so we're not just going to throw it out. What we will do is we're going to put it in this pot, and we will be making some chicken stock out of it, which we'll be able to use for other recipes in the future. Okay, at this point, you're going to want to wash up and clean up and then prepare for the pan frying. So I'll see you at the pan frying station.